Hello, 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 my dear listeners. Welcome once again to another episode of the Nimi Toy Show. This is your girl, Nimi. Today we'll be doing the second part of getting through a breakup. And yes, my guest from last week is here with me again. And last week, she shared one of her breakup stories, and today she's going to share with us how she coped through those phases of breakups and also share few tips on how to get through a breakup. Like I mentioned last week, there's no stereotypic way or ways of getting through a breakup. We deal with situations differently, but I would say there should be a common factor as to getting through a breakup. So let us stay tuned and hear from her. Again on
Thank
board.
you. Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, so last week you shared one of your breakup stories, and so today we'd just like to we'd like you to share with us few tips on how to get over a breakup. Like, okay, when you had your own share of the whole breakup, how did you cope through that phase? How did you survive? Because you hear people say stuff like, it's not easy. I can't just seem to forget him. I can't seem to forget her. I'm finding it
Mhm.
difficult to move on. And, a lot of people are going through a lot as to getting over a breakup or getting through a breakup. So I like you to
Mhm.
share few tips on how to get
Okay.
through.
Okay. So I'm going to be sharing few tips that worked for me generally through my four breakups. So I'm
Wow.
going to be sharing. Yes, I'm going to be sharing tips that worked for me. Okay. So the first thing that you have to do after you have broken up with your, or your partner broke up with you, or it was a mutual understanding, whatever way the wind blows, the first thing you need to do is to grieve. You need to
Mm,
grieve. Don't bottle it up. Okay,
mm,
we are all humans. Sometimes we plan, but it does not work out the way we want to work. We want it to work out. Sometimes the love is not what is in question. Okay, it's just every other ingredient that just does not seem to taste right. Okay,
mm.
love is not the only ingredients that makes a good and successful relationship.
Relationship.
Okay, exactly. So it's sometimes you just have to part ways for both of your sake. So you have
Mm,
to grieve. Just allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to grieve. Don't bottle it up. Don't say, "Oh, I'm a strong girl." I once made that mistake, and by the time I would now grieve, it was so. I don't want to say it was so disastrous, but it took longer. It took longer than it should have, and it affected other parts of my life. Okay, so
okay.
allow yourself to grieve as soon as you go through the breakup, even if it is that you're going to cry. The way we grieve differs. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to cry your eyes out, for at least a week. Please go ahead. For someone like me, I kept up a good front during the day because I had responsibilities that I had to go through. I had people that I have to be there for them, to be strong for them. So imagine you going through an emotional turmoil and still having to be strong for someone. So I
Yeah.
was there, was keeping up a good face, smiling throughout the day. But in the night, oh my, we are
What?
allowing the tap to flow. We are allowing the tap to flow. I will soak my pillow with tears. Exactly. I would cry myself to sleep. But next morning, we are all bubbly again and
Ah,
we're on the way. So sometimes some people, they seek solace in food. They
mm,
eat more than usual. Some people seek solace in sleep. Okay.
mm.
So I'm not saying go the unhealthy way, but whatever way
What?
would allow you to grieve, just ensure you grieve. Don't bottle it in. Ensure
Okay.
you grieve. And the second tip is this: talk to it about someone.
Hmm.
Talk to someone rather about it. Pardon that. Talk to someone about it. I think we need to come to a stage where we see breakup as not necessarily a bad thing.
Mm, mm.
Not like I said earlier, love is not the only thing. that can get a good relationship going. And do you know, sometimes the pointers are there for us in that relationship that this relationship is not just going the right way I want it to be, or is not going the way we envisioned this to go, or this
Yeah.
person is not all I envisioned him or her to be. But because of external factors, what would my friend say? Oh, I already got the ring. We already did, public massive proposal. We allow all those things to get, to take priority. Okay, but we have to come to a place where we have to understand that breaking away from a relationship is not necessarily a bad thing. It might be the best decision you would ever take in your life. Trust me. Because relationships are long-term stuffs, whether platonic or not. They are
Yeah.
long-term stuffs. And the thing is, they will either make or mar, other parts of your life, whether you like it or not. So why give up, a very good future of possibilities of good relationships for one that you are holding on tenaciously to because of external factors? Do you understand? So we need to come to that position where we have to understand that not all breakups are bad. So don't feel ashamed or guilty of talking about it to a trusted friend or a counselor. Okay, you don't have to go through that phase alone. Most people try to go through that phase alone, and sometimes they feel they succeed. Yeah, you might succeed, but the truth is it has damaged. Let me use that word in quotes. It has damaged a part of you because one thing that I discovered was that the relationship I talked about last week. The reason why I went into it, even though I know I was not emotionally invested 100%, was because in my former relationship, and when it ended, I didn't talk to anybody
About
about
it.
it. I mean, when I say I didn't talk to anybody about it, I mean I didn't sit down to talk to someone who is going to counsel me, guide me. Okay, so I learned later on that you don't go into a new relationship with the old baggage.
Yes,
You're
yes.
not going to new relationship with the old baggage. You have to sort things out. You have to burn the bridges you need to burn. You have to heal personally.
This.
Personally, you have to heal. If you don't heal, you are not, no matter how good you are, no matter how thoughtful you are, no matter how caring you are, if you don't heal from the wounds of the past, your present relationship will just be a mirage, a facade.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say? So you have to talk about it to a trusted friend, or in fact, because I'm a counselor anyway,
Yes, so
I really recommend that people talk
yes,
to a
counselor.
counselor, because a
Yeah.
counselor will be able to give you professional advice. Okay, the things you cannot see logically because your emotions are everywhere. A counselor is going to be able to do that for you. A friend will only say, "Oh, so sorry." Some friends will
Yeah.
even go into a rebound relationship, which is like another topic for another day. Do you get? So it's not
Yeah.
even every friend that will give you good advice. But when you go to a counselor, they will give you professional, logical advice that will prepare you to heal and for another relationship that will come.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I've mentioned grief, I've
Yeah.
mentioned talking to a
This is
counselor. And
important.
another thing that is very important is this: know your worth. Okay, know your worth. One of my breakups, I said they were all dramatic. One of my breakups, my boyfriend then broke up with me through another girl that I was already dating. He
Wow.
did not have the should I say, we didn't have the art. I called him a coward anyway. He didn't have the art to tell me himself that he wasn't doing, I mean, he was not interested anymore in a relationship of 3 years plus. So it was
Wow.
the girl he was dating then that actually told me that he said he's no more interested. Now, down the lane, we discussed, and I saw it glaringly that I'm not going to, this guy is no more for me. But then he still had lingering feelings for me. But because it was my first love, we were still talking. We said we're going to be friends. Imagine us saying that type of thing and deceiving ourselves. We said we were going to be friends, and we're talking. It was really hurting me. He was eating his cake and having it because he had a girlfriend, and he still
Yeah.
has in communication with him. But do you know the straw that broke the camel's back? It was